everyone, my name's Steph, I'm Botanist Cool. Today I'm here with the Ace Attorney expert herself.
Katie!
Katie! We are here to play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and as you guys know, we have recently killed Shamspeare, thankfully. And
basically.
and are on to the next great adventure of what will happen. So I'm looking forward to it. Katie has already told me that this is going to be another adventure, and that's it. She's told me jack shit about it. I was just saying that Katie already told me, and I'm like, wait, shit, she didn't tell me anything, so now I trap myself in this narrative. What am I gonna say? Well, I say we go. Wow, that made me jump. I was fighting a wasp. I mean, their music is 10 out of 10. Yo, let's go. Oh, we finally get the fucking Crystal Boys.
Crystal Tower.
Let's go.
I'm losing it.
Please tell me Villain's gonna be here. I really want Villain to join in. I do not have. I only have a mouse. I have no stick.
Had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors.
Wow, that's a lot.
The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few were aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter.
Ooh.
For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Do we have a Mr. Jekyll here too? You can't give me Hyde and not make me think that there's gonna be like a Jekyll and Hyde situation here.
We're here at the showground of the great exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Oh.
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Okay. Oh, hello. I don't like the guy on the left. I want him to die. Is he the one who dies, or is he the murderer? He's one of the two. The guy on the left, I'm calling it. The guy on the left either dies in 5 minutes, or he is the murderer. The one in the center is a red herring.
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car.
Is that Ford?
What are you talking about?
He was talking about cars. I thought it was like Gerald Ford who made the first Model T.
Oh, no.
I thought that was like the dude who made the first car. You were thinking Story of Seasons Ford, weren't you?
I was, and I was like, what are you even talking about?
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future.
Ooh.
A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Very scientific name, alright. Is that speakerphone?
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
Teleportation?
Teleportation.
Okay, Mr. Wonka, let's see how this goes, crazy. Is that either gonna be a Mr. Wonka situation, or it's gonna be a fucking Scott beam me up Scotty situation? Oh no, it blew up Turkey. Here's a question: do the transporters in Star Trek have to measure the amount of shit you have in your system, and does that transport with you?
I mean, it transports with you.
Yeah. People just don't transport out of somewhere, and then there's like a pile of shit there, you know?
Exactly.
That's a good point. Okay, yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna fucking die. He's gonna get zapped with electricity. This dude's dead. This dude's a fucking goner. What is this dude? Why does this dude feel like he's in a really shitty Pokemon game?
You do be having those vibes.
These gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air.
Up to heaven! As he dies from my electricity!
The crystal tower behind you!
Big fucking tower. He's gonna turn to ash. Yeah, yeah! Is this guy okay? Oh no. Oh, this dude's dead. Yeah, this dude's dead. This dude's fucking dead. Oh, come on. We don't even get to see him get burnt to a crisp. Are you kidding me? Fuck off, game. Fuck off, game.
Bruno, are you listening?
Sorry, Iris. I was just hearing some goofy screams off in the distance. I couldn't take my ears off it. Oh, sorry. What was that again?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning.
It's almost like I've been transported through electricity from one place to another, Iris. I can't explain it.
That's impossible. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, no, no. Oh god, that's like the worst way to start off a sentence. Hey, don't you like what I did for you? No, no, no. Like, no, that's the worst way to start it off. Like, fucking mistake number one. No, no, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
Today's paper. It's all full of news about the Great Exhibition again.
The Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley?
What happened to your Stradivarius this time? Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
His Stradivarius is gone. Oh! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We've had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite white. You are clearly lacking in vim, so much so that I didn't even notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly with some simple observations. What?
Get ready for my bullshit once again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Are you ready to do dance deduction, Mr. Naruhodo? If I can prove myself against myself. Let's see. Yes. For example, your tousled hair this morning. It's all unruly with spikes. Some would say it is extremely spiked, all the way towards the back alone. This would look hideous, but perhaps in 2004 it would look great.
Even hideous then.
Clearly it can be reduced therefore that. Let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just didn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently. That's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
This man, I swear to God. Dude, are you doing okay, bud? Did you say something, Iris? I'm gonna do airboxing at Mr. Naruto again in just a moment. Back to moping. Oh, he's not. He's not gonna airbox me. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know, and the great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together?
Oh, we're gonna see this man get fucking fried. I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled with some trickery that you can't be distracted from, is that it?
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. By conversing with him, I do want to see if there's anything new in this room. Where's his Stradivarius? His Stradivarius is fine. I was wrong, guys. My apologies. I do want to see how it is, though. Ah, yes, Mr. Sholmes' faithful musical companion. Wasn't this violin made by someone famous?
Yes, it's a Stradivarius. I'm afraid you'd have to save up for 100 years before you could afford one, Bruno.
If I were to save up for 100 years, I wouldn't be able to choose by a violin, personally.
Oh, what would you buy then?
I really have no idea. I'll think about... I think I'll have to do it so I can find out. What would you buy if you could save up for 100 years? Nothing of interest when it comes out. Is that Napoleon Bonaparte? No, Napoleon was after this, right?
The trouble is, Hurley forgets things so quickly. He never remembers why these things are relevant.
Oh, that's a mood.
The other day, for example, he saw the orange pips that were there and decided to plant them in the garden.
Pips?
Yes, they've all sprouted now. We have 5 new little plants.
Oh, well, I don't know what case they're from, but Mr. Sholmes could get oranges to grow outside of England. He should change his profession.
That's a Sherlock Holmes case reference, I'm pretty sure. It's a small little story.
I bet like there's at least one reference somewhere in here that Sherlock
there's
Holmes...
a bunch of like little references to different cases. I don't know them all because I haven't read that many stories, but
yeah.
the pips I remember listening to on a compilation. Couldn't tell you what it's about at all, but...
Do you think that maybe Sherlock Holmes was based off of Sherlock Holmes? Was Sherlock Holmes?
Impossible.
Let me see what's back here real quick. I do love a good fire in the colder months. Watching the flames flicker and dancing about is just very relaxing.
Cleaning out the chimney isn't so relaxing, though.
No, getting covered in soot isn't my idea of fun.
You know, Hurley decided he was going to clean it out himself last year.
Oh, rest in peace.
But you can guess what happened, can't you? He got himself stuck inside the flue.
He's a very slim man, I admit, but there are limits to where a fully grown man can fit.
Now, every time he dozes off by the fire, he has nightmares about it.
I don't fucking blame him, actually. Tight spaces are something I don't like either. So fucking valid. Alright, let's talk to you, Sholmes. The problem is, I am saying, he tried to be Santa. The problem is, I am saying Sherlock Holmes instead of Sherlock Holmes now, which is a problem outside of anyone who plays this game.
Wonderful.
Half a year ago now, I took the defense of a young girl at the trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of that trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake.
I don't know what's so unforgivable about it. You weren't the one who said, Your Honor, I motion that we complete this trial.
Not only that, you also were taken from Japan, put into the court the day you arrived, basically. Like, you were set up to fail. Like, Jesus Christ. Yes, my lord.
Like, what was he supposed to do to prevent this from happening? That's what I want to know. And they didn't know either, which is why they told him to study law for 6 months. Because he's like, Your Honor, what should I have done? And they're like, you don't know? Go study law until you figure it out. Bye.
Of course, my lord.
Van Zeeks didn't get fucking booted from the court. And he was the one handling the evidence.
Not to mention, he's also been extensively wrong as prosecution the entire time. Like, we've proven him wrong on like 7 parts.
You can't get fired for losing like, what, 3 cases?
No, but wrongfully framing other individuals for losing 7.
You didn't frame them. He's the
He
prosecutor.
was witness tampering the last one where he was talking to people and being like, oh, here's what you're going to say. He put it into fucking Shamsphere's mind what to say. Perhaps you forgot that this one important clue that never happened. Oh. That wasn't a good Dracula voice, I'll admit that. Order. Hey, Iro, how you doing today? But yeah,
to be fair, you also do some leading of the witness, but...
Yeah, but nowhere near as bad as him.
No, leading of the witness doesn't exist in Ace Attorney.
But apparently perjury does, and it doesn't.
Perjury exists as a nebulous threat that, like... is like a minor excuse for like why someone might tell the truth. It's more of an excuse for why people tell the truth than
an actual actionable thing. Yeah. In the end, I had my right to represent the people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study. That's what I've been doing. I've become a monk.
You have, haven't you, Bruno? Have you discovered what the fuck that was about? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes' old cases.
Brewing Harris's splendid blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on this silverware next, Mr. Naruhodo. I want to see... Like, we had Edgeworth and Phoenix in the maid outfits. I want to see Naruhodo in the maid outfit now. I'm just saying, we saw Edgeworth in that sexy maid outfit with his with beautiful, beautiful legs. That's all I'm saying. Now it's Mr. Naruhodo's turn. And Sholmes. And Sholmes. He's going undercover, Katie. He's going undercover for his detective. That's it. It's not fetishy. It's just he's going undercover, okay?
Are you done digging that hole? Can I take the shovel from you?
Well, I think I'm going to have to ask the powers to be that reconsider. Specifically, Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall.
Lord Strongheart.
Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice! Not my favorite fellow. It's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who could grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here. Oh, the whole of London has been set up in the Great Exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science and most modern technology, the finest works of art, and the feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, 6 months, holy shit. Our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Well, remember how long it takes to travel?
That's a good point. Yeah, these things could probably last.
Like, if it lasted like 2 weeks, you'd be traveling more than you'd be there.
Yeah, that's a good point. So how long did the World Fair last? Like, The World Fair length. So 3 to 6 months. Okay, you know what? Fair. The World Fair lasted 3 to 6 months. That is really cool. All right, cool. I've never, obviously, I don't think anyone here has been to the World Fair yet. It's done. It's gone.
Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
The people are like ants and I will squash them. look down on the last World Fair got COVID. Oh no. Do you mean those things fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
All right, Sholmes, go.
I was about to make the same joke.
Sholmes is a one-man hot air balloon, baby. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
Yeah. If I swear to Christ, if this case has me, like, show the physics of hot air balloons now, I feel like it's setting me up where it's like, by the way, Steph, for the very end of the case, when you're getting that final suspect down and you need to prove they're the murderer, you need to prove that convection exists, and because of convection, that like the murderer was in the air and fucking Susato, who's being blamed for the murder, it was on the ground because of convection. I swear to God, that's what's gonna happen. I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Someone died, Iris. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of the paper carries some article or another of the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Sholmes is just the rogue in the edge of the
I am an enigma, Mr. Darrow. It's literally just the Patrick, my mind is an enigma.
Fucking milk drops. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of saying refers to the back page of the paper?
Hint, it says.
Yeah. Wow, who would have guessed? Alright, first and foremost, I do gotta see. No, definitely not.
Lost cat,
Wait.
no!
Lord Van Zeeks and compatriot cornered? What?
That's a lost cat.
Oh, shit, lost cat. That's very important, actually. Alright, yeah, let's read the first one. Oh, there's the fucking doofus. First test of matter transport device. London, Britain, and the something revolution. Industrial Revolution. 10 pages, 1 penny. Okay, that's like this. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Scientific experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. You must go see it probably before too long. Nah, not important. St. Bartholomew's Hospital. Oh, we were there a little while ago. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what?
What's the matter, Reno? Enhance.
Alright, fiery ball down that's the blaze. Evening of cordial dancing turned into a blazing ball last weekend when one of the ladies' attendees' dresses accidentally caught fire in her panic. Okay. French court hears glass eye case. The judge Depardieu was presently trial. The whole affair began the madame.
Oh, look, Altamont gas. That's a fun little callback.
Oh, that's cool. Clean, dependable. Clean's bullshit. Anyways, it appears that the winner will not even be a man, rather a young American lady by the name of Maria Mitchell of Nantucket, Massachusetts. Though there were multiple, the British astronomer, Mr. William Rutter Dawes, being played something on the side there. Ruffians to intimidate man of justice. Baron. All right, the Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks. Let's see what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Did he know any more? I wonder. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Oh. We got another one, guys. We got another conversation piece. Let's go. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose.
It would be a lie, of course, but you could say it.
Nothing more to add. That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruto. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood.
Yeah. Ah!
Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Only a few people like the voices in their heads. Yeah. Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute power of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Only I can do that. Oh, bullshit! Fuck you, Sholmes! Remember what I always say, and certainly, always, 100% follow. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, don't you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind, once I've had my cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene.
What a mood. Me every day when I wake up and it's time to go to work.
Oh, fuck. That was a bit.
Oh, you were sighing so quietly, I thought you were done.
No, I was going on for a bit there. Whew. That was a deep sigh. Thank you, Mr. Naruto, for recognizing my commitment to the bit. It says in the paper that Lord Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Baron von Zeeks. We need a flashback. It's been so long since we've last seen him. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in the case, there's no salvation for whoever's on the dock.
Just in case you forgot from the other 50 times we've said it.
Yeah, and from like the 10 minutes ago, like in real life, you typically would have played this if you had it on your DS.
I mean, I guess this is like in case, because these games were originally separate. In case you didn't play the first one.
But I mean, it was mentioned in the second. It was mentioned in the last chapter.
Yeah, but like, if you hadn't played through it, I could see forgetting, I guess. I like to be charitable.
Fair.
But it do like to do copious amount of flashbacks.
It does, yeah. A little excessive sometimes. Even the defendant is not found guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's times left on this earth will be short. Hey, when does Natsume die IRL?
I don't know.
What's his full name again?
Soseki.
Soseki Natsume. Let's see when let's see when he died. Oh, he died like 14 years after he left the UK. Nah. Reaper didn't do shit to him. The Reaper failed. He is actually well mustached. Like, I was looking at a picture of him now. He has a pretty damn good mustache. I'm not gonna lie. They do his mustache dirty in this game. He has a fine mustache. Okay. Alright, back to it. London's first rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hands of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruto? Yeah, I've seen Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If the leader among the fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zees has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems his assailants were armed with guns this time. I'm gonna take a quick drink, and I wish I was alcohol. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zees hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? You fucking asshole. That is the shit-eatingest grin. That is the shit-eatingest grin I've seen.
No, don't hit me. I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little baby boy. You wouldn't want to hit a little baby boy on his baby boy birthday, would you?
Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition.
Wow. Wow, cliffhanger.
Buy our paper.
Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No. I can't wait till tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with someone in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Anyways, I'm off to the hospital to see him. I'll see you later. Oh, he's all dressed. Well, I must be leaving now. Yeah, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. I thought I hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, toodaloo indeed. I don't know why I went toodaloo, but that felt right. Listen to him, still laughing his way out of the door. Fucking bastard. Let's go.
Alright then, Runo, let's get going.
Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? Stealth clothes.
I got changed to go to the great exhibition. You're going to take me.
You know who she reminds me of?
Or else I'll shoot.
You know who she reminds me of? Dola. The clothing is very Dola-esque. No?
I kind of...
Okay.
Listen, it's the pink pigtails and the goggles
And the
that
hat
are really
and the goggles,
giving it to you.
Yeah. No, 100%. But like, give her like 70 years. And she can totally pull off a Dola. She can do a Dola cosplay. In like 1972. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
She's a fucking...
I'm very bored.
Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you?
Of course. After the Supreme Court, we'll go to see the Great Exhibition.
Dola's from... Lupita and the Castle in the Sky. Great movie. What was the voice that gave this fucker? Why are there birds inside of the building?
Birds are everywhere, especially in big buildings.
Fucking warehouses, like, go to fucking Walmart Garden Center, they're everywhere. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never changed, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place.
And the birds.
It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
Cute. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago... When Susato was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see, since you've arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring at the space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. And that's how Susato's gonna get here probably again. She's just gonna like be hanging out with her dad, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, we're here now. She can be here because I'm here." Then he gets murdered, and we have to solve it. How right am I, Katie?
Around 50%.
Okay. Forensic science is the future, and the world must embrace it. As we've the hosting nation, I've much to do. And it's my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what's brought me here today. But actually, there is something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work as a court and lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend someone under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to work in the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Sogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which the young law student was charged, do you suppose? What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? It's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Well, that was easy. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful news, Reno.
In fact, I believe I have the— Fuck you! God damn it! By the way, people have been like quitting left and right, and we're down to like no one else left, and we have to have someone in here, you know? We're not here for quality anymore, you know, quiet quitting and all of that. The fucking millennials these days wanting actual respect for their jobs. I'm a boomer. In fact, I have the perfect case to mark your comeback, a curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. Curious affair. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. It was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident in the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of a fingers?
That's right. It was just what my herbal blend needs, a dash of devil-may-care.
Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business that a large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. It started Mr. Odie What's this pun? What is this pun? So I'm reading this as odious man, like like a repugnant man.
That'd be funny. maybe it is. I don't know.
Mr. Odie Ass Man. And
Love it. That's the one.
That's his name, Mr. Odie Ass Man, an inventor and well-known figure in society. Large explosion.
A man died.
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert. Fuck.
Say it, Steph.
Albert Hairbrain. So stupid. I love it. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you attempt to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There's very little time left before we can carry out any kind of investigation. An exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder. I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still.
We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think?
Definitely. Ah, yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zeke's how? Nope, okay. I'll present Lord Van Zeke to him later. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest, most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. Does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly!
Yeah.
But not Herlock's, no, not his methods. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, fucking elitist, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. It's imperative that we use our latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible, instead of providing the resources people need in order not to commit crimes.
Obviously. We are talking to, like, basically a cop.
Yeah, I know, right? Which is what's known as forensics. Oh, which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly, the future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming.
Oh.
We make the joke that she's gonna say the same thing again, but like... If I were Her Majesty's Attorneys General, you can be sure. The numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. How many birds does this man have? Fuck if I know.
So many birds.
So many fucking birds. And I guess like 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Fuck. Wait, what?
He's very passionate about his job.
Yeah. Sorry. By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. Oh no! What?
Oh, how fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was... Oh no. Oh no! Mr. Narhoda, don't fall asleep! No!
The reverb effect is so good.
And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division with Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh! Right, yeah. It's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what that will be. She escaped. Hers isn't paying attention. No, she's got her book. She's got another book. Book.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
5 days later, yeah. I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science.
I heard that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, you bitch. Well, let me try it again since you fell asleep the first time. I do not mind doing this multiple times if we have to. Fuck. Oh, I cannot present him, huh? Oh. Presents a different button in this one. Okay, present this. Oh, this reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports are overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? London's top prosecutor Zeke's life came into threat yet again as a group of heavily armed assassins brandishing large knives and pistols ambushed him last night. The sight of the Reaper the Bailey and his companions valiantly keeping the mob backguards at bay was captured by this reporter, who then rushed away to the police to report the most heinous crimes. As host of the Great Exhibition, the City of London can ill afford to have such brutal acts of violence occurring in its streets, and the Lord Chief's office ensures the response to the latest incident. As to Lord Van Zeke's in his conditions, all will be revealed. Okay. The Reaper attacked. Ah, that! You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Oh, Mr. Reaper. I wonder what happened to him. He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zeke's would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you, it does.
I shall go on for another 6 hours.
It all started 15 years ago when I met Lord Van Zeke's at a private gathering. I later brought him to my hotel room and... No.
I shan't say.
I shan't say. A man never kisses and tells, Mr. Naruhodo. Fortunately, Lord Van Zeke's emerged from the attack unscathed. Oh, fuck, okay. Dude fucking really is a vampire. Fucking nothing can hurt him. Unless it's like a silver goddamn bullet or something. That's werewolves. We played poker for 5 days straight. He won. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. That's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. The leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zeke's. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? He won the apartment, so I sleep here now. A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However,
our honorable jury? No way.
The amount of I gotta believe these next jury members are gonna be fucking hell. I really want Villain to come back so bad. However, despite winning his freedom, I heard that. You're like, I know you do, but I'm sad that he won't either, is what your voice said. The man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting it was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Assman, Mr. Odie Assman. Did you say Assman?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask something, Lord Strongheart? Try me! Why do you use Lord Van Zeke as a prosecutor? Well, look at the time, I must be going. All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet a mysterious end outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zeke's first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zeke's works for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital. Bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But it makes sense. How can you explain the way that someone have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zeeks may have earned himself the moniker of Reaper, but he is no killer. He will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crown and suck the blood of his victims afterwards. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. I'm not gonna say that joke. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 60...
Sorry, I got really into talking about my backstory. I hope you got all that.
That's why smoke up and it's always wins. Yeah, it's oh my god. I can't this dude is always on time. Never been late for a single thing in the entire game. Fucking the one time he talks about forensic science, he talks about it for 11 hours and 13 minutes basically.
No, he was already 4 hours late when he met you, so...
Okay, so 4 minus 11, so 7 hours.
I think he always is running late, actually. Like, that's why he's so obsessed with time, is because he's always perpetually running late.
Jesus Christ, the poor man.
It's not that he's obsessed with time because he wants to make his appointment. He's always like 5 million hours late.
He never had a, so as a kid, right? He never had a watch on him, so he built this entire place as a giant clock, so he always knew the time. But then he never wanted to look up, so he got himself a watch. He just kept running late so often. I would fucking do that if I had the money, actually. 11 hours late, that's quite something. That meeting had started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So latest was inevitable, time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zeeks now? I would assume he's at his office. Oh, should we get to go to his office? Right, I'll go ask him about the words. I'll wait with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands.
Imagine seeing that glove in 3D.
Of course, anyway, watch Lord, whatever your name is.
Goodbye, Lord, whatever your name is.
I forgot. There's a prosecutor's office. Let's go. Don't forget to take me with you when you go. Let's go. Oh shit. He has a painting of him, this fucking vain bastard.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
Yeah, it appears so.
Brr, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that? No. No, if that's the fucking... No, that's different clothing. Is it? Oh. It's Xehanort! That hooded figure was so still. I hadn't noticed his or her present. I wonder who it is. Is this a me or you?
It's you.
I gotta take a guess.
It's not that figure.
Do you think so, Chip? Oh. Alright, I'm gonna do it. What are you doing here? Ah! Fuck! I was gonna go Van Zeeks at first. Fuck you, Chip. I was like, oh my god, Sholmes would be so funny. God damn it.
Do you know when I got here, I was so excited to investigate every nook and cranny of this entire office.
Is he gonna kick us out now?
No.
Oh, thank Christ. What are you doing here? He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person by the wall over there being punished for something or another? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He is sitting there of his own free will. Didn't know you had an apprentice. Ah. Was the same person pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper! I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that this such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
Examine everything, let's go.
Let's go. That's a lot of hallowed chalices. That's a lot of hallowed chalices. Hold on, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 12 hallowed chalices in that one thing with 3 bottles of wine. Look at these fine collections of hallowed chalices and neat bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Fuck, I can't even get him seriously. There's a vault with hundreds of them. Yeah, there's a vault with hundreds of them. Oh! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defiled. So, it's my fault. Silly me. How could I ever thought otherwise? Fucking amazing. I want to see this chess piece. Lord Van Ziek's desk. Look, it's so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set beside it.
Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Ziek sometimes. To a bout of shogi problems.
You only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at your own home. Sorry, words. I said it wrong. Whatever.
At home, yeah, it's all good. Oh, hello. This is... I can't... Okay, hold on.
Oh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground.
Oh, shit. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person.
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigation aid.
Ah,
You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. I really didn't think he'd overhear that.
you're standing in the middle of his office going around poking at things, being like, I can't believe he heard that.
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Oh no, he's hot! Fuck. That's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't seem to do a good job of capturing Lord Van Ziek's facial features. What?
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
Oh, vain. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
Lord Van Ziek's just on the side, just like tapping his fingers on his arm like, I'm gonna fucking kill these guys, I'm gonna fucking kill these guys. The portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Okay. Okay. It's a lot of fucking wine.
Oh, I'm not laughing at the wine, but
Wait, what are you laughing at?
look up in the
Oh,
corner
there's
by the...
bats! I didn't even see the bats! Oh my god, there's like 4. Oh my god, it's amazing. Look at these ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber. Or are they caskets?
You don't think all those People who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them. They're dead, do you? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. I feel like this is like, I feel like he's fucking going insane.
He's standing like 2 feet away from them as they're like, you don't think he stuffs dead bodies?
I feel like he's become the straight man in this argument as well. Like, these two are just goofing off, and he's just like, fuck, I have to be stuck next to these people for like 5 minutes. Why don't they just ask me their questions and leave? Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Bruno and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. Now, what's this over here?
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourself to my office to talk nonsense when my ears shut. Yes! Oh, shit! What? They were bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. How could he have friends? It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before.
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead?
If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead.
Well, how do you know?
He could be dead.
He could be dead. Rigor mortis is fucky wucky, baby.
Maybe we just think he's dead.
Maybe we just think he's dead. I think I pretty much got everything in this room so far.
And then, obviously, present your attorney's badge.
Oh, let's go. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer, in Japan at least. And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor? Oh, well, I don't know, really. I can understand at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. But that's a personal matter, something you must want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt. No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. Wait. I got a fucking achievement for that!
Yeah. There's actually something very interesting about Benzeek's animation if you pay attention during that one.
Well, let's try it again. What is it exactly? The mask of a defense lawyer in Japan, at least. He closes his eyes.
No, the last animation.
I mean, he puts his right arm over his heart.
Over his heart?
Heart, H-A-R-T, is left. That's left side of his body. His heart's around there. It's also over his cross as well. His prosecutor's badge. I'm assuming that's the prosecutor's badge. Is the cross?
That is the prosecutor's badge. Yep.
So
and over his heart. It's just a fun little note.
Yeah. Nice. No, the brooch. Yeah, the brooch. The thing. Yeah. Well, badge. Yeah. Brooch, badge. Who cares? Those not. Thank you for understanding, though. Someone gave him that badge. Just tear it off him and see what's on it. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by the henchmen of Odi Osman's criminal organization. The investigation meant that arrests were imminent. Presumably some hope to kill me before that happened. Oh, yes, man. He always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, there was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Assman died. Yeah, alright, it's just Mr. Assman now. Mr. Assman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation site ended up with an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Reno? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're defending him? Oh, yeah, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Hairbrain. Oh, that's right. Do you know him, by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're...
What? I thought you just crawled out of a coffin one day.
I understand that Professor Hairbrain's from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out the research. That's all. So you were students together? I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he in science. So our paths rarely crossed. But, curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since my university days. God, a fucking mood. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. If only he can make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But... you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, then that's a conflict of interest. I'm just kidding, that doesn't exist. There's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord Van Ziek's thinking? What do you mean by when you said it before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that... If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal and an immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't vile wretch at all.
Nor was Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is, If any of those vile wretches that escaped just subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It was not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zeeks. Present God. Oh, wrong button. Fuck.
Have you seen my attorney's badge? I presented it 3 times.
Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in the paper. Ah, yes, it seems that there was a... Ah, yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when the little skirmish took place. I had no idea I had been photographed. It was careless of me. The answer is not a vampire.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
And a few extras.
And a few extras for my enjoyment and blood sucking. But there was someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think that's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? And poker games, As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps tell us a little bit more about him.
No.
Fuck off!
Go away.
Go away. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. Why would you take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be good reason for this action. I hope you're right. Oh shit. Ah! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. What's his voice gonna be? Nice to meet you. Can I say they look like Sholmes? Fuck, that chin does kind of remind me of Sholmes, actually. Is he Sholmes?
That'd be super funny.
That'd be really fucking good. That chin does remind me of Sholmes, but like...
Chin does look familiar.
You know what? You know who I think it is? It's gonna be Egbert Benedict.
Okay.
Wait, you know who it actually is?
Who?
It's actually Shamspear.
He's back just to torment you.
I want that mask. That mask looks cool as hell. It fucking just goes away. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Is it Sholmes? Who else?
Who could it be?
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anyone from outside this office. Lord Stronger has strictly forbidden it. Is it fucking Gregson? Wait, then Shamspear filed this. Okay, guys, it looks different. Oh, I see. Why are you interested in my apprentice, anyways? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. He thinks it's Sholmes too, doesn't he?
Seems to have an idea of who it might be.
Ah, yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that?
I don't know if I'd call Sholmes having flawless posture.
I bet he could fucking act it. It's Kazuma, who is weak to falling. It's Kazuma. That Nepalese man, is he faring well? Sorry. The one that arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop and the stash and the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Reno.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by International Post only the other day. I see.
I don't care or anything.
Well, I think we gotta end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. Can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about it or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with the mad scientist, did you? That's a turn-up for the books.
Mad scientist. Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Yeah, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think.
Don't jump in.
I thought he was about to say, like, don't you fucking dare, I will murder you. I was terrified for a second. Oh, what voice am I gonna give this guy? Oh, fucking nerd. The warden says cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball at the back corner, look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain. I wanna...
You could be awful and give him your bad German accent since he's German.
No, he's from an
But it
English
would
family.
suit him. Like, you heard him before, right? He has chaotic vibes.
Yeah, he does. But I also wanted to give him like big nerd noises because like he's such a, I'm a nerd and I want to swirly this man. That's all I'm saying. What was I gonna go? He was born in England. He went to Germany for a trip.
Born in the darkness, raised in...
A low sarcastic voice and added hatred behind the voice. Nah. This dude doesn't have hatred. He's too fucking whimsical for this shit.
He's absolutely insane, this one. Like, Hairbrain is like perfect for a last name for him.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know if I want to go nasally nerd on him though. I don't feel like it's right.
You gotta do something that like lets you remember his gesturing and posturing.
Yeah, he's harebrained, yeah. Oh, oops, wrong buttons. A lawyer? There we go. What's something I said? Oh, a lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't. Yesterday's demonstration. No, I'm going to Natsume for that now. Fuck. Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was the magnificent demonstration was! It was out and out success by anyone's calculation! But despite that, no one listens, no lawyer believes in science, that's why they all leave at high velocity!
I think you found a good one.
I found a good one, yeah. Give him a creepy feeling, perfect. Now it's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too. You mentioned a demonstration yesterday.
Papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to.
Your groan sounded like that one pirate from Wind Waker. You know what I'm talking about?
The short one.
Yeah, what's his name? Nico or something?
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Like, what other fucking way is there, buddy? Also, the fact that his, like, shoulders are above his head makes me feel like he's, like, 3 kids in a trench coat. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw with my own eyes right in front of me, Mr. Assman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Assman, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Assman was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
We all share one brain cell, yeah. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident, simply an accident. I see.
Lily and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
Okay. On what grounds? Yeah, a newly established here in Britain, the Special Dispensation of Scientific Equipment Act. Okay. That one passed by me.
If the case is treated as murder, then they'll say the... Oh, sorry.
And they'll say the machine was the murder weapon, and they'll have to pour over it as much as they like. They'll examine it in detail and find out how it's made, and then we will copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected at all costs. That's why it's imperative the whole situation is shown to have been an accident to Mahler's trial. I see now. This guy's emotionally tiring. Like, the Reaper, he's something. This man just sucks all the soul out of you. So in short, there's a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no, the devil's in the details. Surely speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating.
Humans, like all matter, made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam particles through space. Have you tested it on literally anything besides a human? Like, have you tried a pencil, my man? That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, this is unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be the Great Exhibition again! Oh yes, that would be incredible. And then next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theater, say! The possibilities are endless in our whole vast planet was words. There's no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk.
If we figure out this guy turned the other guy into like a miniature, like, atom person, and we had to like see him through a microscope.
Oh
My word, it's exactly right! Oh, the implications. What does this mean?
Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless as science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. That's always been the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes. You good?
Yeah, just had a cough. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Assman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from university days. Yeah, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all-around nice fellow, really. What bullshit's that? Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Baron Von Zieks. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Bruno.
As I said, an unassuming, extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is a little darling of the Van Zieks family with all the great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling? I was on the same phrase that Bruno was here. Like, I was on that same phrase, like, little darling? It was a bit more of a shock when I came to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Belly, no less. I've come to save him from himself by becoming a defense lawyer after studying science my entire life!
Exactly.
So stupid. I love it. Fucking the real Ace Attorney here is harebrained. Yeah, that's right. I did hear, though. There was a very big event in his life after that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry.
but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zieks will be his prosecutor in the courtroom tomorrow. He's come to save his friend.
I'll teleport him out of Britain to save him.
You shouldn't be here. Your being here causes me unease and uncertainty.
But aren't those feelings you need for a prosecutor?
If only the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Assman, right? What exactly is your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. Said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars.
I see. So we didn't really know each other until then.
Money is for scientific research. I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Oh, really?
An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if it went well, construct additional financial support for my research from the British government. And Aspen provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Assman. He would never have ever thought of taking a man's life.
Well, it seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure that I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intention to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor of your work. Is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it. Yes, it's true that my perished in my machine to my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in this, but still, it would never have been used by discovering my inventions to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, that's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. Men of the law, it's all I know. You have to believe me. Please.
When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
Alright, Reno. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. I'm off to the balloons. Goodbye.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
That's a good point. Yes, well, that's true. Excuse me, Hattie on. Time to investigate at last. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break. Get water, snacks, all that good stuff. Use the restroom, yada yada yada. I'm gonna put on the BRB screen a quick ad break to go alongside that. That way we don't have people who come in and they're watching whatever, the pre-roll ads or whatever. And that's about it. Yeah, we'll see you guys in 5, alright?
See you.
Bye. And we're back, everyone. Hello. Whew. All right, let's go take a look at the exhibition stage. Oh shit! The Crystal Tower. I just want Villain somewhere to. I just want to see Villain. I know we may never see him again or hear him speak again. I just want to see him. I want proof that he still exists. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Sadly, he is an enigma.
Showground's a bit too big for my liking. We've been walking around and.
But we might get to the best character in the game.
Today?
Maybe.
Okay. Now I feel myself swooning 3 times.
There are lots of people out there. I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs. Though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Jesus, so something did launch over then. Okay. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Is your favorite character in this argument? Yo! Let's go! She's back! Let's fucking go! Oh, it's exciting, Gina! Gina's back!
She's back.
She looks proper pissed off, too, at him.
Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah. Go on, Spectre. Give it a shot. Ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices.
You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in this cell will teach you some manners.
Just try it. I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed up down your throat.
I was thinking up your ass, too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yoo-hoo! Gregsy, what are you doing up there?
It's you here. You're here. Here you are. You here. Your ladyship. How are you, your lady?
Was that his voice?
No, kind of going like, yeah. How are you, ladyship? I hope you're doing well, you ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady?
Not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you.
Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. That we have to be reintroduced to every fucking case! Till recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now.
Yeah, he wasn't or I guess he was in the flashback.
Yeah.
Maybe. But,
all I'm saying is we fucking
but
see
he
him
was also
so
suspended
much.
from duty,
Yeah, that's true.
which is fun.
It's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's authors, Iris. But there are limits, surely, or there should be.
Watch it, sunshine.
Sorry?
What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yeah, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Miss Naruto.
He just stole my... Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is!
We can have it back, but I have to charge you for the bother. 3 bob.
Also, she has like a she's not patchworked up or anything anymore. She's got like a proper coat and everything.
Yep.
She's all
Good catch.
fancified. There ain't a single bit of patchwork on her. This is Gina Lestrada, pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the east end of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this young girl was the one I was defending in court.
What's your problem, Odo? Diver, pickpocket, what's with all the name calling?
Whoa, those are my inner monologue thoughts!
You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, do you?
Actually, that'd be nice. I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
Ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change.
Fair enough.
I'm an apprentice now. Learn to be a Scotland Yard detective.
Yo, let's go!
So you have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Yeah, let's
This is
go!
actually where Gina's name comes from.
Really?
Inspector Lestrade is a Sherlock Holmes character.
Really? That's cool. Oh my god. Does 997 have any significance or not?
I don't know.
Good honor though. Like I
The only
think.
time I've seen Inspector Lestrade is he shows up briefly in the Hounds of the Baskervilles, but I think he's a reoccurring character.
Oh, so Hounds of the Baskervilles again. Great.
Well, I think he's in a bunch, but like the only like big one I really know well is the Hounds of the Baskerville. I haven't read like A Scandal in Bohemia or anything.
She's
But I'm sure there's probably references to the people in that.
Chip says
Like,
she's a
I don't think that-
law-abiding quote-unquote person. She knows the law now. She can skirt it better. Sorry, go on. You don't think that?
Like I don't think there's an Irene Adler reference, but I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that character.
But what I'm saying is I'd never even like read that one, so.
I wonder if 997 has anything to do with the original, so I'm curious now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyways. Investigating is off the cards for all of us now.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back on top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions. To be fair, who better to have solve petty crime than someone who committed petty crime? You know what I'm saying? Like, and she probably understands like the people better. So she'd probably be a better cop than like someone who was just like a rich boy off the street who wanted to abuse his power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped a lot of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So, you go from being a pickpocket to a detective.
You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Oh. Whew, okay, we have an answer for you. Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny,
Yeah,
you're so sweet.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, that's how I had a go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious.
And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of apprentice.
Oh, Gregson has a heart! Gregson has a heart! The Swan Lady, yep, the Swan Lady did it. I can't believe Gregson has a heart, that's impossible. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson and brave.
Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
That doesn't sound good. I guess that like sticking for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and short of it is, if you've got any questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Oh, I love her. She's great. Right then, Inspector. Well, actually, there's a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what, Bruno, what?
Slips 20 Ginnies and chips to Gregson. Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in the trial prosecuted by the Reaper. Trial where she was found not guilty, and yet here she is, alive.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Odo.
If I didn't half worry, there wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. I ain't really done nothing wrong.
Did you just say that the Reaper's like God? Did you just call Dracula God? Listen, it's been a while since I've read the Bible, but I don't think Dracula is God.
Are you sure, though? Think about it. Came back from the dead.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So Jesus did come back from the dead. He did drink blood. Fuck. He did. He. You know, the wine was his blood. He did drink blood. Fuck. And he made everyone else his fucking thralls because he made them drink his blood. God damn it. Christianity is just vampire lore. Katie, why weren't you gonna tell me you were a vampire?
Man, you only gotta look at my skin to know. It's like pale as death.
They made her more smug? Yeah, they made her more smug, but rightfully so, though. Like, she's turned her life around. She deserves a little smugness. It's a treat. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Define perfectly fine. Well, that's true. Perhaps Reaper is more discerning than I thought. For now.
Exactly. So I ain't worried.
Put my bed.
Cool. It was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny, with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to.
So all I've got to say is that, I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to.
I love her! Oh my god, this is so funny! She's getting the job done, but she's like fucking... She is taking full advantage of everything she's got at her disposal to have a great time while doing bullshit. It's great.
Get this. I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Now Oh, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start?
No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way.
It was? How could it have been? Yeah, there was the broken side of the crystal tower. Something did fly from it. Wow, yeah, wow. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call that experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke coming and that whopping big bang. Where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh, you mean where all the glasses... Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there.
That's not instant kinesis, that's just a fucking explosion shooting something. He became a bullet. It was
It got beamed over there and then landed.
No, this thing got fucking launched like Chip's saying. This is fucking like... This is Kerbal Space Program 2, baby.
Oh, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it?
No. What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Well, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Oh, I cannot wait to see this in detail. Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair.
Wait, you took the 3 bob off me? Didn't actually give that to you, did I? Oh, let's look at this fucking plan here. What am I supposed? There's Gina, guys. If Gina's in here, I'm fucking cackle. This has to be significant somehow. What am I looking at? There has to be some sort of significance to this picture because, like, it's gonna come up as evidence. Like, it's really well drawn. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like this. It's really well drawn, but they're gonna be like, count the number of rivets that are in here. If there aren't the right amount of rivets, you know it's a fake drawing. I think that's something I'll have to, like, examine later, I suppose. What am I looking for here, Katie?
Nothing.
Lies. Lies and blasphemy. Something that the Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us.
Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. But that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate, neither.
Wait, what? Why?
What did the boss call him again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, isn't it?
So even Scotland Yard and detectives can't investigate. I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it.
That's why I was pissed at you a few minutes ago.
Probably heard him giving me an earful about it from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair.
I think you're giving him as much as an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. Say something to him, Odo. Go on, see if you can get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine exploded is?
We can try, can't we, Bruno? Gregsy will listen to us. If not, I have my gun.
He listened to you. Let's see what's happening here.
It's a combined effort, Bruno. Looks like somebody dropped something behind the tree just here.
Then you just must hide his body, yeah. Dropped or hid? What is it? Some part of a machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps.
This is a really weird crossbow.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too.
Well, I suppose there's a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno.
Oh, that's Elijah.
Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
Ginny, no. Ginny, no. Good job, Ginny. The Crystal Tower. Certainly is an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and full of glass. That's now broken. Can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently.
See you later, Chip.
Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum.
A whole fucking zoo?
But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass in the failed experiment may just be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
And the poor animals will not get fed for the next 2 months.
They will be starved to death.
So it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but more the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people.
That's where the Cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success.
What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, or lawyers, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really.
Didn't you help erect the scaffold then?
Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mine Gregson didn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. Incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Probably just an explosion, like a projectile, Mr. Naruhodo.
I feel like they would have put that together.
Yeah.
Like someone would have been like, I fucking saw that thing shoot across, it was crazy.
This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yeah, well, they're fucking wrong. Anyways.
I don't think they... Do they use feet over there?
No, they use meters in Japan.
No. In England, no.
Yeah.
I thought they would use kilometers and stuff.
So, they use miles per hour. Last I was talking to him. And it's also called the imperial measurement system because, you know, imperial, UK monarchy, it's the imperial system.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I think they use, they still use Celsius then. Do they use Fahrenheit?
I'm pretty sure they use Celsius.
Does the UK use Fahrenheit?
Which is funny because it's like, I don't mind if we go over to meters and centimeters and all that stuff, but
you prefer Fahrenheit?
I like Fahrenheit. What? You can just like, it's so much more dramatic. You can say, oh my god, it's 100 degrees outside. That's more dramatic than, oh my god, it's like 40 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was about 42 outside for me today, which for those in American, 110 degrees. It was rough. Oh.
Exactly. Doesn't it sound better to say like over 100 degrees?
You know,
it has some more heft to it.
You know what's not even better to say?
The perfect temperature.
No. What would be better is I was able to stay indoors and not die going outside today. That would be a lovely thing to say.
Oh.
Actually, hold on. That's even better.
Anyhow, Fahrenheit, you can say it was 69 degrees outside, so it's a superior system.
I mean, you know, we could just do the true temperature gauge. All we can do is Kelvin. You know, 110 degrees Fahrenheit is 316 degrees Kelvin. So I can say it was 316 degrees outside today. And I'd be fucking dead. You know?
Yeah, but then you don't have a good scale for cold.
Oh yeah, you get to 0.
You can't have 0 degrees Kelvin outside.
Exactly.
That would be the death of the universe, so you can't be dramatic about it. That's the Fahrenheit scale lets you be dramatic about it.
Being dramatic about it is going into hyperbole, like, oh my god, it's 0 degrees Kelvin here, it's so cold.
But that doesn't even mean anything. That means that, like, the universe has stopped. Entropy has won.
That's how cold it is, baby.
But you can't mean it. You can be dramatic and mean it, and that's important to me with Fahrenheit.
Fair enough. The thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. What? Oh. Those stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot the experiment was being conducted. Wow! So they have one specific way to move for 2.5 games, and then they introduce a new one.
Just this one.
Fuck off. Oh wow, that's really fucked up. Holy shit. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
I want to go on that Ferris wheel.
Ooh,
Look how big those carts look.
I do quite like a Ferris wheel.
Ferris Ferris wheels always do wind up making me a bit nervous, but I still like going on them anyways.
Yeah, they're a fun ride. It's just, you know, you get to relax, talk shit, and see the whole world around you from a viewpoint you probably haven't before. Yeah?
Yeah, I like being up high. There's just... Depending on the Ferris wheel, some of them are like, this doesn't feel correct. I do like being up high. It's just depending on like how secure I feel about that particular cart. Which is very funny, seeing as there's the ski lift ride I used to like at a certain amusement park. It got shut down because like the only thing keeping you from falling it off was the ski bar lift. So like if you wanted to, you could jump probably to your death. Like, not necessarily, but at least break a leg off that ride. And that one I felt super fine on. But then sometimes I get into, like, you know, a Ferris wheel, and I'm like, this thing's gonna tip over sideways. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share.
Fucking fair, actually. You seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
You're not wrong, Herlock. You're not wrong. But at the same time, in front of a 10-year-old, you want to say that?
Absolutely.
That might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting from upstairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof right off the building.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I wish you'd been there to see it, Reno.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Gregson's... Oh. Oh, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Oh, yes, he, Oh, hello. There are all sorts of strange buildings in the Great Exhibition grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Reno. I do wish I could go and see it. Harry would be an absolute menace there. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a steely samurai.
Oh my god.
I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially.
Steely samurai.
And see if I could get Hurley into a jam against some Baritsu master ninjas.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think until 2004.
Oh, well that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chonmong top knot I could introduce you to.
A Chongmong, really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Cosmo gave him a year ago, yes.
He hasn't.
No, he had his one Aochi growth, and he was like...
What he cut off?
That he fucking cut off in shame. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see.
Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait. Excuse me, I was yawning. It's turning? It looks completely still.
Are you sure about that, Bruno? I can see it moving.
I can see it move too.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
Holy shit.
Really?
Damn, alright. If you were mad enough to go on one, it'd be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Bruno, inventor of thrill rides. I don't want to deal with Gregson yet. Oh wait, hold on. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and being beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted, that's the point.
Yeah, that part's crucial, really. If something like that's even possible, though, Iris.
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? Do you like that one? I learned it from Hurley.
A child when it suits you mean?
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever
Stop!
here...
Don't touch that!
That was a practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over it just now, Gregsy.
Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
So sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Glug, 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 glug. Wonderful stuff, really.
God, what voice am I giving him today?
The stuff is really wonderful.
It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector, so we should be allowed to examine the scene.
Ha! Listen here, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's the blasted Special Dispensation of Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty.
Oh yes, the special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too.
More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh.
Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Don't worry, I've got gloves on. Consider how badly damaged everything is. Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I say. We should have a good look around the machine whilst we can, I think.
Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear?
I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare the thought of your digestion. Anyways, do you think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
Yeah, it's looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly, the annoying, obstructive, flaming rules.
Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think?
Oh, isn't this a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
Like Ass Man. It is. Oh, you're right.
What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said.
Yeah, I understand. Sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit.
Gregsy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really, very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Bruno found it first.
I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly.
He's got an awful fit.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Oh my god. Poor Gregsy. Wait, we didn't even have a chance to talk to him? He had everything set up for a second. What? Did I miss something important? Fuck. So those are people carrying balloons, dangling slightly in the skies of London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly, but I never imagined it would be involving them being suspended from colorful, floating tamari handballs.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Bruno, please.
Would you do a hot air balloon ride?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done one before.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
How is it?
It was cool. And it was kind of like nice because like it was like, wow, there really are a lot of trees around here.
I've never been up in a hot air balloon. I've always considered like I've always been like, you know what, I want to try that one day, but I never was able to go up into hot air balloons. So I was like, one day.
It does have that sense of like, man, if I just tipped a little bit too far over here, but the basket is like surprisingly sturdy.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. I'm perfectly honest. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said.
YOLO, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Fair enough. Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Fair. The amazing horse-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, to shoot out of whatever is going on here?
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
So you're still shooting off those particles, though. Like, those particles are being transmitted to this dish and still being shot from this dish to an area. Shooting is just fine. This is semantics. Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
Nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? What am I missing here? I feel like I haven't explored everything, especially since Gregson left. Shit, I should have talked to him when I had the chance. Oh, fuck, he's still here.
Surprise, Gregson.
I know, right? I was a little surprised. Using high voltage electricity, somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the crystal tower. That's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can't be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. I suppose that's true, in a way. The powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on the scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it to the practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason that coppers aren't allowed to touch the crime scene. Because a new Fulton Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it.
I think it's highfalutin.
Highfalutin.
It might not be, but I've heard that term before.
I have never heard that term before, so I just did my best. I see now.
Let me open permission to investigate here for some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with, but just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing about it.
Poor Gregsy, he's very het up, isn't he?
Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having at me, sunshine? It's a special dispensation of scientific equipment act. Fuck this.
Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently, with a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember.
His shit would be so protected. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for the great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits at the civil service, and it gets rubber stamped. It's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think about all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at the exhibit. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
Might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to present every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, what I say.
No, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. If they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There's no point. Yeah, well, there's a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another one of our government's bright ideas. Any theory or invention deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding. Exactly, and that's why they're all after it. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up the Hyde Park. Who's to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Mascapa Zatsu. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science, hang it!
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany, now conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time for further education, it turns out he was at the university of someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. What was that? That's news to me. But Van Zeeks, it's the prosecution. The accused, the professor's fate is sealed because the Reaper will get him one way or the other. Blind me, that man's beyond me. I don't know what's going on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh, yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business going to keep up, I wonder? The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Assman, he was another one of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters in his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. If that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants shouldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them. Remember, guys, you die if you are killed. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? The whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said at the university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. You what? Did at the graduate, something happened to change as a man. You have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go make nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Grexy's lying, I know. Right, are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Is it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. There's a lot of you are here.
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me a heave-ho in a minute, too.
Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Glug, 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 glug. I hit the spot. Yep, hits it every time. Well, at least I've seen the crime scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're gonna get with our investigations here, at least.
I've been thinking. Hurley might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zieks, you mean? It sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Shelms at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussbells? It's supposed to mean something to me.
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have to do the big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? It's part of the London attraction?
Yes.
How is that you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo.
When I completely disobeyed him. Madame Tussbells. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then, stranger things have happened. When they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. New location has been added. What is happening? Is Madame Tussbell the character you're looking for?
No. But she is a very good character.
Have we gotten to your favorite character yet?
No, Ginny I love, but I don't know if I don't remember if my favorite character pops up. I think it's during this part. I can't remember if it's during this part or if it's not until later.
Oh, we'll find out.
It might not be until later, actually.
Okay. Well, we got about
Tragically.
We got about 15 minutes. Do you think this is a good time to save, or do you want to continue on for a little bit?
I don't know.
Are we gonna get a to be continued and an investigation scene in like 10 minutes?
No, to be continued. It might be worth a number of laughs, and then we can pause.
All right, let's go for the laughs then. Whoa! What? That's a wax museum.
Yeah, do you get the name pun now?
It's yeah, this is a famous one. I forgot what it's called though.
Madame Tussauds.
Thank you. What is this place? Look, all these terrifying scenes, but why are there people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they?
Wait, I know that detective over there, that Bobby over there. That's a fuck. I know that scarf.
Do you?
Yeah, isn't that the guy from? Isn't that Rolly and?
Oh, it does look like a similar scarf, yeah.
It's Rolly. And Patricia and Rolly, right? No. Anyways.
What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? I feel the same. I read about dead bodies in wax once in the magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them could turn to wax, apparently. It's called a adiposer?
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway,
Ah!
What now?
I just remembered something else I've read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them in display.
None of the exhibits in here are real.
Except...
They're all entirely man-made replicas.
It can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh,
Wait, is that Holmes? Oh, There's no way anyone can make models realistic that are realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
what is it?
Oh no, I must be seeing things. I want to check out this Bobby real quick. That's really funny, but I don't. These models are so well made, I can't tell what a waxwork and what's a real human.
Maybe. All the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about.
Just thinking about it makes me wish I was closing time already. But on my way home. I'll talk to you later. Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over.
You don't think that'd be the work of one of the masked murderers in here, do you?
Bruno, stop scaring me.
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! Nothing in particular of note.
Yeah, you scooted right off of her.
Oh. Is this some infamous murderer?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women.
Okay. I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding the knife. Sure sign of a murderer.
Well, yes.
Ah!
What's the matter, Bruno?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore.
Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. Doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Really?
Sorry, I don't think it's significant.
Still think it has to be there for a reason. A big heavy curtain is a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Two Spells special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money to be even more terrified? Oh, let me think about that for a moment.
It was only a suggestion.
Alright, let's deal with you. Ugh. Is this the example of Western Tsujijiri?
I don't know what that is.
You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test a sword?
I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Bruno? Doing that Tsujigiri thing you mentioned?
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention on testing how sharp it is on a human subject, for now at least. Speaking of testing on a human subject... It's the great detective, Herlock Sholmes! Just shows his own wax statue here, really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
You can't go. Look at him in the back. Look at him in the back. He's just like clutching it. Is there anything in pain? You can't go around kicking exhibits. Wait. It just moves, I'm sure. Not by a little bit either. Really? He just blinked. Did it?
Really? Did it?
Look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you'd seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruto. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me.
But Bruno has something he needs to ask you.
Question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored, too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 more minutes of being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
You could know something, it's true. About Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your own luck, I'm quite suddenly taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm quite in a hurry. If I don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very own museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that led to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? Speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Oh, this man. This let's quickly do him, and then we're gonna head on off.
Okay.
Have you got time for that?
Pardon?
Have you got time for that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just do the Genshin update that's coming up soon. What is this place? You fucking bastard. Oh. Madame Tussauds came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. She opened up this little waxwork museum last year, and it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these display something or else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tussauds family, they say. They're renowned during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Oh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the face that were condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
At the... That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about Tussauds family. Whether it's true or isn't, I couldn't say. But anyway, the museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by far, some quite margin, is the House of Horrors. The House of Horrors? Of course, visitors' numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their most gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're stiffer now than the models of them are. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public lives for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So the hideous exhibits here are...
They're all portrayals of real-life events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork. Amazing. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see! I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half hour, I come in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I happily allow them to take a photograph of us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, it is obvious. For the money! I'm mood. He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider.
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruto. What's he threatening to rope me into now? Paying rent. So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? At this special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruto, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. It's just me, or does his final remark that sound a lot like a curse? Well, what does he like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Holmes in about everything I learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering if that has anything. I was wondering if anything happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person.
I'm sure that you'd know, Hurley.
you said there was something going on here that's exhibit before. That something was afoot. That you believe it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes. He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable.
Greetings.
Ooh. Oh, hello. Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? She looking more mysterious. Woo!
I knew that. Yeah. I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Guys, she's very pretty.
She is very pretty.
She is very pretty.
She's extremely pretty.
Guys, she's very pretty.
This case has some really fun characters.
Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again.
My apologies. I am Esmeralda to Spells. This is my museum of waxwork.
You're the Madame to Spells?
Bien so. They're only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious.
Oh my god, I love her. She's great. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. That's something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't we gotten enough of on the plate already?
No.
Alright. We're gonna pause it here. We're gonna save it here. Because we will deal with this very pretty lady next time. Well,
Yeah, that's a lot of people's reaction, but I can't blame them.
I mean, she's pretty.
She's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, alright. Well. Okay. Y'all, thank you very much for hanging out with us today. Over on YouTube, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. It'd be an absolute pleasure. Please and thank you. I hope you all enjoyed your time here on YouTube. We're gonna do a raid in a second, but everyone on YouTube, y'all stay safe, stay Botanist Cool, and we'll see you soon.
Hi guys.